Erica Luckett. Here we go. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. 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 I will share, 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 I will share this love. We're going to do that all again. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 this love.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. We teach the science of mind so that we can all live better lives and contribute to a world that works for everyone. I'm practitioner Christine Duval. We would not be able to bring this Sunday service to you today without the loving service of many dedicated people who serve as our tech team, our greeters, our ushers, our welcomer, our musicians, our bookstore team. And in addition, we have practitioners who hold the high watch, who give the invocation and the benediction. And we're so appreciative of our snack angels and our announcement angel. Our talk today will be given by our very own Reverend Tammy Lambert. Please join me now in reading our mission and vision statements. Vision: transforming the world with the power of love in action. Mission: loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest selves. And now let us prepare our hearts for the invocation by practitioner Talia Heron.
Adjustment there. So we settle into the spirits that we are, allowing that love that resides within us to flow. To seek its way forward with love in abundance, knowing the divinity of that which it is, which we all are, beginning with us here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Those of us here watching by Zoom, listening otherwise, and here in physical and energetic form, I might add. I welcome all these presences to this divine center where we know the truth of who we are, ever expanding beings, creating and manifesting that truth of ourselves as pure divine light. And so this morning, this light greets you with great love and acceptance and support, blessings and humor. And into the expansion we move this morning, knowing our oneness as well as our diversity. So join with me this morning and bless this moment of light and love. And please say with me, and so it is. Thank you.
And now Miguel Zulueta will come forward and lead us in a reading of our sacred covenant for a new minister.
Good morning. We're going to read the covenant, and I invite you to read it with all the passion. Know that we're moving forward in the search for our new minister. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. I know that I am one with this life that is God. I, therefore, know that I am one with all in His blessed spirits, which includes the presence of the new minister from my beloved spiritual community, because I know that my highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God. I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as unity. I further know that my new minister is a fulfillment of my wish has been promised by God, for it is written, so powerful in the light of unity that I can illuminate the whole earth. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unifying and growing our community. I know, intend, and expresses my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing that this truth about myself, for I am inspired to live in unity as an expression of a wholeness and love. I am encouraging and supporting spiritual growth, awakening the wisdom within me. I am serving as a healer to all, applying the power of love, wisdom, and unity. I am generating an agreement of a community in mystical studies and spiritual teachings. I am collaborating with community organizations working in service of a world that works for everyone. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, so be it now. Amen.
And the spiritual reading this morning is by Ernest Holmes, 365, Science of Mind, page 303. It's entitled, Spirit Flows Through My Consciousness into Action. There is an eternal springtime in my soul, always rising but never setting is the sun of my destiny. I refuse to worry about anything. I have complete confidence that the God who is always with me is able and willing to direct everything I do, to control my affairs, to lead me into the paths of peace and happiness. I release every sense of condemnation, either against myself or others. I loose every feeling of animosity. I now understand that there is a principle and a presence in every person, gradually drawing that person into the kingdom of good. I know that the kingdom of good is at hand, and I am resolved to enter it, to possess it, and to let it possess me. I have a silent partner within me whose energy is inexhaustible and whose intelligence is without limit. It is life itself. I maintain close communion with my true center, knowing that the divine spirit operates through me now. I know that I am not limited by anything that has happened or by anything that is now happening. I am entering into an entirely new set of conditions and circumstances. That which has no limit is flowing through my consciousness into action now. And so it is.
So it is.
And now let us turn our attention to our friend Susan Clark for a number of special music.
Thank you, Chris. This morning I picked out a song that was written by Faith Rivera, and it's called Called to Be. I am called to be a healer for all humanity. I am called to be a dreamer, believe in what can be. I am called to be a maker, be an instrument of peace. I am called to be a giver, of abundance I receive. I am called to be a prayer, living out the truth I seek. I am called to be everything. I am called to be. Called to be the glory here on earth so all might see. The love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. I am the living, breathing God, and you are one. With me, we're called to be. You are called to be a mother, to nurture family. You are called to be a brother, be the strength in times of need. You are called to be a neighbor, see a friend in all you meet. You are called to be a leader, to build community. You are called to be a prayer, living out the truth you seek. You are called to be everything you are called to be. Called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. You are the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be. What is it you are called to be? What sacred truth do you hold deep inside your soul? We are called to be the kindness, set the broken-hearted free. We are called to be forgiveness where pain has run too deep. We are called to be compassion, be the wind beneath each wing. We are called to make communion, only then we can receive. We are called to be a prayer, living out the truth we seek. We are called to be everything. We are called to be. Called to be love, called to be peace, called to be free. Called to be love, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be everything, everything I am called to be.
Thank you. We are so blessed to have Reverend Tammy Lambert here again with us this morning. She has her degree in Consciousness Studies and her Certificate of Ministry from Holmes Institute. Her commitment is to create a world that is powerfully conscious and transforming itself in every area of life, which includes governments, courts, the private sector, and any area where there is a potential to make a positive difference. So let's give a wonderful warm welcome to Reverend Tammy.
Well, happy Sunday, everyone. It's good to see you all. I see the waves from at the back of the room. Hello, hello. So good to be here. You know, what we're going to be talking about today is about service. And one of the things that comes to mind is a few years ago, there was a workshop with everyone here at the center who had volunteered. And I think there were over like 79 people who had taken the workshop, because service is part of the culture of this center, right? There are so many people in service that it was really difficult to find someone who had not been in service at some part of the year in some capacity. And what I love about it is everyone tends to be in service in the area that calls to them, and I think that's really special. So when we look at the vision and mission of this center, the idea of being in service and being of service in love is a reflection of one of the core values of this community. And so I do want to honor that. And when I'm talking about service, I was reading one of my favorite authors is Paramahansa Yogananda, and he wrote this a series of books, and this one's from Discourse 52, from the second coming of Christ, the resurrection of the Christ within you. And he's reminding us of this Bible story, which I think is real interesting, and it had a lot to share with me, so I hope that it resonates with you. It's from a passage in Luke, and the story is, now it came to pass as they went that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was encumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her, therefore, that she help me. And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. Now, when I used to hear this story when I was a kid, I thought, well, that's not fair, right? Martha's doing all the work, and Mary's lazing around at Jesus' feet, and all the woman is doing is asking for some help, right? And so I took the story as Jesus was saying, you know, this is better. What Mary is doing is better. But as I was listening to this again, and listening to what Paramahansa Yogananda was saying, he was actually pointing out that what Jesus was saying was that he was actually commending her for what she is doing. But he is saying that the one thing is missing is what Mary was typifying. This sitting at the feet of the Master, this absolute devotion, this space of powerful love and presence when we are just one with sitting at the feet of divine presence, when we are just being the oneness with Christ's consciousness. And so what she was doing was, you listen to the words, she was cumbered about. She was cumbered with much serving. Now, how many of us have gotten cumbered with much serving? I know, well, oftentimes we give and we give and we give. And at some point it becomes a little bit of a burnout. And sometimes we become weighted down with our service. And sometimes what happens is, we're busy about doing all of these things. Now, let's be fair to Martha. If Jesus was coming to your house, you would be cleaning. True? You'd be cleaning out the closet. You make sure there's fresh towels. The sheets would be done. You change the kitty litter, like whatever you need to do. You're not going to have him come in and walk in on your usual whatever. You do the extra special cleaning, right? So I get Martha in that one. And for so many of us, what we're doing is we're doing a spiritual cleaning to prepare for the Master, right? So many times when we are engaged in our spiritual practice, we are engaging in a decluttering of our limiting beliefs, a decluttering of our hatred, a decluttering of our old stories. We are decluttering and cleaning and spring cleaning the corners in preparation for this divine presence. But what happens is we have to remember that there's a difference between being of service and the busyness. The busyness. What is the busyness? The busyness is a product of our ego. It's when we drive and we drive and we drive and we drive, and we're not taking that space to pay attention to the balance of spirit that's calling within us. So we're doing things, we're not being things. We're getting things done, and I'm telling on myself, I am a results-oriented person, right? I don't want to just sit here and be. For me, let's get this thing done, okay? And so sometimes one of the things that I've had to learn is to listen to the people around me, listening in with the ear behind the ear to what's actually being called for, listening for what is the emotional vibration around this, instead of my just getting things done and bulldozing through it. And that is a conversation about awareness. So what we're called to do is be balanced. We're called to be in service in love. And that's what the mission and vision is about. Being of service in love. Not just doing, not just getting things done, not just angling for a result, not being necessarily strategic in that way, but being used by Spirit to cause an expansion of the love within us and the love that we are typifying and the love in the community. So we are used by Spirit. We are not plowing on ahead. I remember, and I've shared this before, once I was engaging with a Navajo medicine man, and I was saying, we were talking about, the future of my career or something at the time, and I was like, yeah, I just need to work harder, and he fell out laughing, like convulsive laughing. And I couldn't imagine what was funny about that. And what he said was that as I grew spiritually, I would realize that the point wasn't to work hard, that there was an ability to cause things on the spiritual level such that it's not about working hard. And there's a phrase that Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, used where he talks about sitting in calm repose as you watch the things that you create manifest in the world. This sitting in calm repose, not working hard, not being busy, not being all about the task, but allowing the intention of the divine to work through us in a completely different and more powerful way. So does that mean don't work? No. Does that mean don't serve? No. Does that mean just sit there and meditate? No. Because the reality is that Mary probably could have gotten what she was getting at the feet of Jesus and been able to be of help as well. So perhaps it was that balance was needed on both sides. But what Jesus was saying was he was not going to take from Mary what she had, which was that one pointedness of aim and effort, pointed toward being in the presence of divine, being in the presence of the love, being in the presence of that light. So it's about the balance. Now, when we were thinking about busyness, I was reading one of the old readings from Edgar Casey, who's called the Sleeping Prophet. And someone had come to him for a reading, and he was telling them all about their past lives and what they were supposed to learn in this life. And he said, what this is really telling you is that it's so important to prioritize your meditation. And the person said, I am just way too busy for that. And he really asked kind of lovingly, what are you busy doing? And so then I've been asking myself this question for the last couple of weeks. What am I busy doing? What am I busy doing? And I'm distinguishing busy being something different than living in intention as it flows through you. I'm seeing that as different than something that you are up to in the world that's worthy of you, and you are living this intention. At what point does your commitment become busyness? And it takes awareness to know the difference between when we're just about being stressed and busy and doing all of this and this and that, and when it's actually love expressing as us. Because when it's love expressing as us, what happens is that we will be more powerful, because we will be channeling that divine presence as we are doing the work. You've walked into this center and felt this divine love presence that's just everywhere. You've walked into the presence of each other or into a spiritual fellow traveler and felt the love. And your experience of them and what they're up to is much different than if somebody was just busy about doing their day-to-day. People know when they are being treated in a very special way. And we know when we are treating ourselves in a very special way. Because something is very profound about taking the breath and being in a space of meditation. Now, meditation for our daily practice is very important. But I want to mention that, let's see if this will open for me. One of the things, one of the people that I love to quote is Amma. And she says, children, you must do your work with sincerity. Whether you consider it significant or insignificant, whether you like it or not, you should do your work with interest and love. When you work in this way, when love begins to flow into all that you do, your work becomes sadhana. Now, sadhana is your daily spiritual practice. So anything that is practiced with awareness, discipline, and the intention of spiritual growth is sadhana, all right? And it's the space where you are having your daily spiritual practice. It's where we're forging a ritual space, a connection between us and the divine. Now, we have this with us, but what we're deepening is our awareness and our ability to manifest this energy in a deeper and more profound way when we are engaging in sacred service with love, not busyness, with love. Now, one of the things that I had a personal lesson with this with Amma. Annette and I used to go to the retreats every year. And when Amma would come to Santa Fe and, we would spend time. And, you have to pay money to do the retreat, and it's for several days. And for a couple of years, what I ended up doing, a part of your retreat is sacred service. Well, one of the things that Annette and I used to do was the laundry. So she travels with an entourage of people and crew, and they go from site to site, and they need their laundry cleaned at every time, right? So we would take rolls and rolls of quarters, and we would go to the laundromat and literally fill up the laundromat, like row after row. It was exhausting. It would take all day, right? And there was a part of me was like, I'm missing the meditations, I'm missing the this, I'm missing the that, I'm here doing the laundry. But okay, right? So year after year, we would do that. And I remember one year, one of the swamis said, Amma thinks that your sacred service, your seva, is as important as sitting here doing the meditation. Now, she has an ashram, and those who are a part of that group are usually the ones who get to come up and be on the stage and on the platform with her. But they specifically asked us to go up there, and for some reason, I don't know, people were missing their shifts. Imagine this is me and this is Amma. I literally stood next to Amma helping the practitioners for, I don't know, hours and hours and hours. You can imagine the bliss I was in just being in her presence for that long. And I kept saying, well, somebody's going to relieve me. But no. And so that was such a profound blessing to be able to be of service in the presence of such a divine master, that I realized that had I been in the meditation the whole time, I may not have been receiving that particular blessing with that intensity in that way. Because it's true that when you're doing this out of love, that the rewards for it are multiplied, right? When you're doing something and you're being something, what you're doing actually has a different component. It has a different spiritual depth to it. Now, how do you be of service and do what you need to do? And, even if you do have your meditation practice, how do you keep your mind on spirit during that time? For me, for my work that I do, I find that there are a lot of triggering and deeply emotionally divisive issues that I may have to deal with at work, or even in my life. And I've found that the meditation practice and attention to breath is the best way for me to bring myself back. Now, I know a lot of us know this, but sometimes it's nice to just be reminded of something you already know. When we breathe, we think about, if you look at the Bible, right, there was darkness on the face of the earth, and then there was light. And then it says that God breathed on the face of the waters, right? So we think about this. Let's look at that. If there's a darkness in me, I'm going to breathe light into it. I'm going to imagine light, and I'm going to breathe in light. And what I'm going to take on is that light, that breath, is soul substance. I breathe in light. I breathe out light. I breathe in everything that's necessary for this physical body to need. And I breathe out. I breathe in divine consciousness. I breathe out divine creation. So with every breath we take, we are uniquely reminded that we are connected to spirit in the most profound ways. That we are connected, that we are uniquely built to be able to bring in and express the creative power. So when I see myself in the space of where I'm busy, I take a deep breath. I take a deep cleansing breath, and I breathe it out. I can even take on this space where, as I'm breathing, I start to do a body scan. And I start looking at, where am I holding tightness? Where am I holding anxiety? Where, as I breathe in, is this energy stuck? And I just surround that with light. And I allow it to flow through me. So I continue to allow this divine spirit to flow through me in a profound way. Not just in my physical body, it flows through my spiritual body, my etheric body, my emotional body. The parts of me that are in every dimension, I allow the light to flow as me and through me, and I use my breath to bring it and to channel it. And I bring in the breath, this divine breath, into my pores, into my physical body, and I just allow myself to be the emanation of light. Now, we've heard this. And, sometimes we always, look at how science and spirituality have a duality, have a match. And, there are a number of studies using fMRI, which is a scan of the brain, when people have done ATB, which is attention to breath. So they'll take people who were trained for about 8 weeks. And just kind of like your regular person, some who may have had training in meditation, others who may not, just anybody off the street, train them for 8 weeks in attention to breath, and then do a brain scan on what lights up in their brain when they're paying attention to the breath. And when we pay attention to the breath, what happens is our most primitive parts of our brain, the limbic system, the amygdala, the fight, flight, freeze, all of that, it starts to have less reactivity, and the parts of our brain associated with the prefrontal cortex, which have to do with the anterior cingulate system, this part right here, that has to do with our experience of oneness, our experience of generosity, our experience that we are part of something greater, our ability to plan, our ability to use our higher executive functions, that actually becomes more reactive. And some studies have even said that with regular practice, that you start to change the structure of your brain so that there's actually a thickening of the prefrontal cortex and a thinning of your amygdala and your limbic system. So when we talk about mind over matter, what we're actually doing is we're training our matter to be in comportment with what we said we are in our mind. We are actually causing a shift in our physicality with our attention to being in spirit. So I'm always someone who wants to know why. I always want to know the deeper why, right? And so sometimes it's just a matter of taking that on for yourself. How do I bring my attention to something that is deeper within me and change my life? Change your thinking, change your life. Let's start with change your breathing, change your life. Breathing in the light. Whatever has hurt me, I breathe the light into it. And I say my affirmation. My affirmation of prayer, my affirmation of gratitude. Because I'm not here to I'm not here to be busy. Because when we're busy, we are not available. Anybody my age or older will remember you called somebody on the phone, when you dialed it or pushed the buttons, and it would go bop, 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 bop. It was busy. That's how I think of busy. That's telling me you're not available. But when we are breathing the breath of life, when we are breathing light into the situation, we become more available to a whole lot of things other than just being physically present. Because we are physically present to the energies around us that want to have nothing but to help you forward what you're up to. There are spiritual beings and angels and spirit guides and teachers that want to give us the music of beauty in our lives, and we can't be bump, 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 not available. We open up our breath and our life and our light to be available to the higher messages of the universe. We are available. I am available now. Say it with me. I am available now. Because when we give up busyness, we are available for healing. We are available for prosperity. We are available for Spirit to use us in wondrous ways. We are available to life. We are available to the messages beyond our hearing and seeing. We are available to the life of the divine. And we become. We are the beingness of love and action. So it stops being about the task, don't bother me, I'm busy. It's all about I am available for something greater. So I just want us to take a moment right now and breathe. Let's just breathe. Breathing in the light in every way. Just doing that body scan. I'm breathing in the light. If that body scan says something is stuck, I just release it. I don't have to build a story around it. I breathe in light. I breathe out light. Knowing that we are uniquely connected and one with all the beauty. Everything I need is right here, right now. And I am right now able to pluck from the tree of possibilities unlimited, unbefore-noticed possibilities in my life. I know that I am one with God and one with all. So let's just be that. So I'm going to start with our prayer time. So I'm going to have us transition into that. If we can have the practitioners stand and surround the building, surround the room. There is a divine presence beyond all knowing that is eternal, that has no beginning and no end. It is right now. And in this right nowness, in this presence, in this holy place, I know there is only love. Anything unlike that just falls away into nothingness. It has no spiritual grounding. I know there is only love, there is only light, there is only peace and presence and joy. There is this beauty in this place right now, and I call it good. I know that I am one with that I am a part of this matrix, just divine light. And I know that everyone here is as well. And in this oneness, I affirm and declare wholeness and healing. I declare the light of the divine pouring in and through and as us, all around us in every dimension, in every direction. Calling the light of healing power. Calling the light, bringing our attention to the truth of this. That there is no limit to what Creator is. There is still no limit to what Creator creates through and as me. And I know that as I give up busyness, I take on the beingness of power. That this is a space of powerful love in action. And we call into being right now this world that works for everyone, calling into being right now a place of peace, calling into being right now a place of wholeness. That every part of us, from our body to our spirit to our finances to every part of us, our relationships, all of it is in divine order and blessed with this divine white light of the Christ. And I bring in this Christ consciousness as our fundamental foundational way of being, knowing that it is, there is no other truth but that it is. And I call on the joy of this divine presence to light up the heart, to reach the crown, to express in every part of our being this wholeness, this joy, this love. It is so good. I am so grateful for this, so grateful. So grateful for this love, for this time, for this prayer, for this truth, knowing that it is even now so. And in this presence, and with this assurity, and with this full faith, I say, and so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Tammy. Namaste. It was beautiful. It's time to share our abundance with one another and with our community. There are multiple ways to give, as you know, through technology or here in the center with the baskets. Your offerings are essential to our ministries, and we're very grateful to everything that you have to share. So let us say the giving affirmation together. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. Now we have another song from Susan.
Thank you, Tammy. I took it in. I was breathing. I always give myself a couple choices of music when I come in, and just to see which one I feel fits in. So I'm going to do a song of mine. This is a really old song of mine. Old. I've got it here on my notes. January of 2006. And this is called Gifted with Grace. If I can help my brother get his feet back on solid ground, if I can help my sister when her family has let her down, if I can teach my children how to make this world a better place, then my life will not have been lived in vain, and my soul will be gifted with grace. If I can help my mother when she no longer has the strength to stand, oh, if I can help my father when the world no longer treats him like a man, if I can help my elders live out their lives with dignity and peace, then my life will not have been lived in vain, and my soul will be gifted with grace. We all need to take good care of one another when the road gets rough and the sky is filled with thunder. You may not think that you alone can do that much, but there is healing power in a simple smile and a gentle touch. If I can help my country when her leaders are filled with anger and hate, oh, if I can help a young soldier come to terms with the choices they had to make. If I can help the world with a simple prayer of faith, then my life will not have been lived in vain, and my soul will be gifted with grace. Then my life will not have been lived in vain, and my soul will be gifted, so gifted with grace. Thank you. Oh, thank you, guys. Thanks. Thank you.
We're in the presence of talent and love here this morning. There's no doubt about it. Please help me bless these offerings. O divine giver of life, we gratefully accept these and all your gifts on behalf of our congregation and its ministry. We honor each gift and giver and declare that our abundance is increased 1,000-fold. And so it is. We are delighted to welcome visitors to our center. And if you're here for the first time in person or online, we invite you to come to our center, continue to be blessed. Carol Ann, who's standing in the back right now, has a flower for you and some information about our center, so please stop by and see her. Our licensed practitioners are here and ready to support you with a mini prayer treatment after service. Anyone who's wearing a purple stole is willing to do that prayer with you this morning, so we hope you will take advantage of that. In addition, we have a prayer box on the back table. Practitioner contact information is also on the back table. We invite you to take advantage of that. And now it is time for Mark Ayers to come up and do some announcements. And after he is finished, we will have our benediction and a closing song. And then we invite you to come join us in the fellowship hall and peruse the offerings in the bookstore.
Good morning, everybody. Norm will be back next Sunday. He got on a train this morning. If you know anything about Norm and trains, he's going to be in heaven, and I'm going to get pictures pretty much about every hour of his thing here. So, and if you didn't know the meaning of the word anointed, all you have to do is listen to Tammy this morning, and it's just amazing.
Good.
So, just a couple announcements from the board. We're going to be probably passing the 2022 budget tomorrow night at our board meeting. Anybody's welcome to attend. So if you were interested, just call the office tomorrow, and CJ will give you access to the meeting. It's ambitious, but we're in a place of abundance and prosperity. So next Sunday after service, we're going to have a town hall. And our goals with those town hall are to share with you that budget. We'll be starting our pledge drive. We're a little late in the game, but again, prosperity mentality, it's going to be all right. And the search committee with Marilyn and Maria as leadership are going to give you an update. And they've got some good news. So just in terms of forward progress in the process moving forward. Speaking of meditation, Marilyn O'Leary is going to be leading a mini meditation retreat in just a couple Saturdays on Saturday, December 4th from 1 to 4 p.m. It's a love offering of $25, so it'll be here in the center. We have a special project. Marilyn Kirk is already sitting back there. Hi, Marilyn, in classroom 2. And they're going to be working on a monthly themed wall hanging. And so if you have some sewing experience, she would love to meet you in classroom 2 afterwards so that we can bring that gift to the center. And finally, Thanksgiving. Oh, I don't want to forget something. Our tradition of Michelle's Giving Tree is going to be continuing, and you're going to be hearing about that. The Reach Out team has been fully at work on that, so there'll be news on that coming in the next couple weeks. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget that. And finally, Thanksgiving dinner. The sheets are getting full there with people signing up. And we got word this week, we think Reverend Martha and her lovely husband are going to be here keeping that tradition. So we'd love to have you join. All you have to do is sign up if you don't want to miss Miguel's turkey and Michael's stuffing and then all those other goodies are on that sheet. Be here, okay? And just bring something to contribute. So that's the announcements for this week. That's why we need a professional announcement guy like Norm. Thanksgiving dinner is at 12 noon, and there are sign-up sheets on the back table here and in the social hall. Thanksgiving Day itself on the 25th. Did I forget anything else? Oh, thank you, Miguel. Okay, and bring a guest. They don't have to be a member of it. Bring friends. Bring family who are with you. Let's make it a joyful celebration and spread our beautiful community and share our goodness. Okay, Norm doesn't usually have to do questions and answers, but he'll be back next week. Okay.
But you do. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, everyone, for your presence and your contributions in spirit, in light, and in every which way. We are so grateful for all of you and for the light and the breath and the wisdom that you bring. And we ask you to close your eyes now for just one moment and pause and remember all the light and the love and the beauty and the magnificence that you are and that we all are, each and every one of us. Whether we get stuck or busy, we are magnificent, infinite light that are always able, in the flash of a second or a breath, to remember all of that wondrous magnificence, power and love, grace and joy, balance and beauty, strength and power, immensity and health, happiness, beauty, with such grace and such depth. So let us go forward now, remembering all we have to do is return to our breath, and we remember what we are. That beautiful expression of divine light and love. And so with gratitude, I say, and ask you to say with me, and so it is. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's my turn again. I'm I'm going to stand up, and I invite you to stand up if you're able. We're going to end this service today with, I've got my heels on. I don't know if I can stand up or not. I think you guys all know this. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit fill my life. I am free in the Spirit. I'm only here for God. Something like that. All right. Are we ready? I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. From the top, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. So I release it all and I just let it go, knowing it will be exactly the way it's supposed to be.